2013. Hasn't been much of a successful year in the eyes of the Bulldozer Matt Tremont this year. From a fan's perspective, what has happened to Matt Tremont when it comes to combat zone wrestling? You know, for getting hit in the head a lot, my memory is quite vivid when it comes to one man, and one man in particular. And his name is Joe Gacy. You see, 2012, I had a thorn in my side for a year. And that douchebag did everything he could of to rid me from his wrestling promotion. He tried to shatter my dreams on endless occasions. But when it was all said and done, and I finally got my wits back together, I rid the combat zone of the douchebag, and I was victorious when Cage of Death was all said and done. And once the cage was over, I looked to greener pastures, and I looked into 2013. Knowing that I was now done with the boss, I could move on into a brand new year, looking forward to new goals, new aspirations, and new dreams. But 2013 has been a year of opposite, and hasn't been the year that I dreamt of. And the aspirations I had in mind have not come to fruition because of one man, and one man only. Joe Gacy. You see, when I had my eyes set on main events and title shots and big opportunities in the combat zone, Joe Gacy has now been the thorn in my side of 2013. Joe Gacy has been in my ear every single day. Joe Gacy has been on my mind, unfortunately, every single night. You know, 2013, personally and professionally, haven't been the best. And I've been tested in all aspects of life, in and out of the ring, personally and professionally. The wrestling world wants pain. Well, pain changes people. The wrestling world wants passion. I've lacked that in 2013 when it comes to CZW. And why, you ask? Because of Joe Gacy. But outside the ring, my life has affected inside the ring. You people want truth. I've dealt with death. And 2 days before Memorial Day weekend, I dealt with a health scare that I thought was going to take away everything that I've always wanted to do, and that was be a professional wrestler. Thankfully, I was able to get back in the ring just a few weeks later. But like I said, pain changes people. In the last 2 to 3 months of my life, I've been tested more than ever after being on this earth for 24 years. And quite frankly, it's gotten the best of me. And I'm tired of putting on a front, and I'm tired of putting on a smile in front of people month in and month out. And I'm going to tell the whole world why Matt Tremont hasn't been the best bulldozer he can be in the combat zone. And with all that said and done, and with all the trials and tribulations outside the ring, there's been the trials and tribulations inside the ring. And that man has been Joe Gacy. I don't know how much I can take anymore. Has the chainsaw gotten the better of me on several occasions thus far? Yes, he has. I rewind back to Tangled Web last year when I was severed by barbed wire and I came back out. And when the match was over, Joe Gacy tried to make an opportunity for himself by attacking the arm that was severed and tried to help the douchebag take me out. And then in November, when I had to fight back to get my job, the man that I had to beat to get it back was Joe Gacy. Because somehow, some way, our lives and our careers have been intertwined over the last some odd months. And then 2013, at the 14-year anniversary show, back in the Flyer Skate Zone, Joe Gacy interjected himself into the main event situation between Von Eerie and Masada. And I seen fit, since I apparently wasn't on the card nor advertised for CZW that month, I took it upon myself to make my way down the aisle and kick him in the damn head, which ignited me and him. Ignited me and Gacy, but it was the start of the demise of the Bulldozer this calendar year. The following month, CZW wanted Fatal 4-Way, my first opportunity at the CZW World Heavyweight Championship. And guess who's in the match? Joe Gacy. And on several occasions, numerous opportunities, we both cost each other shots at the heavyweight title. Both cost each other a W. Both cost each other the opportunity of putting a strap around our waist, which leads to WrestleCon. Something I look forward to all year long. WrestleMania weekend. And what happens in Secaucus, New Jersey? Matt Tremont passes out in a pool of his own blood. And Joe Gacy is victorious WrestleMania weekend at WrestleCon. Because I promised the whole world I'd carve his eyes out. And the tide shifted towards me. And he did that to me. Something I promised to do. Something I promised to do to Joe Gacy continues to backfire, and the backlash is at me. Best of the best. I go out there to destroy Ron Mathis, and Joe Gacy interjects himself again, takes me out, and takes away an opportunity. Which leads to the proving grounds. When I promised the CZW fans of old and new, the CZW faithful on the other side of the guardrail, an ultra-violent act that they would never forget. And when I got my hands on the chainsaw, people would never forget what I was going to do to him. But that backfired on me as well. And Joe Gacy proceeded to chain me up like a dog and beat my brains in with a barbed wire chair. Was I left for dead? Yes. Was I still standing? Of course. CZW makes the match. Tremont's on the card for once now. Tore him to death. They chained me and him to a dog collar. But what happens is what I talked about, what happened 2 days before Memorial Day weekend. And wrestling was taken away from me. And so was Joe Gacy. Then tore him to death. I get the call that I'm good to go. And I go out to that ring to try and take back my spot. Because tournament death is something I've lived for. It's something I want. It's something I cherish. It's the one day of the year where Ultraviolent lives. And Joe Gacy took that away from me. But I was 100% and a clean bill of health. So with one positive, there's still that negative. And that's you, Joe. Rewind to this past Saturday night when CZW returned for the first time since May to the Skate Zone. Is Tremont advertised? Is Tremont even on the card? 2013 hasn't been my year, apparently. Apparently the blood, sweat, and tears isn't enough. Personally, things have gone wrong. Professionally, things have gone wrong. And all I can fucking think about is Joe Gacy. Tables match. Joe Gacy, Devin Moore. Joe's continued to interject himself in my matches so I can test to interject myself in his. And it's me, Joe, and Nation of Intoxication member Devin Moore. And I go to the top rope, and he sends me crashing and burning through a table, while Gacy picks up yet another victory. What do I gotta do? What do I have to do to beat Joe Gacy? Am I not better than Joe? I haven't got the job done all year. I guess in the eyes of management, I haven't got the job done all year. In the eyes of the fans of CZW, I haven't gotten the job done all year. And Joe Gacy's had my number for months on end now. And I sit here in my garage as I've come back to Atlantic City and I ponder the trials and tribulations of 2013 and everything I've had to deal with personally and professionally. And quite frankly, I think they call it an emotional breakdown. And goddamn it, I've been close to it. I'm smoking cigarettes now. I'm drinking. For the first time, I've had to exorcise demons in my life because maybe I just haven't been strong enough to deal with the pain anymore. But quite frankly, I need to suck it up because that's not how things get done in life, and that's not how things get done in the combat zone. So what's going to happen sooner or later, Joe, just like I said at the end of the match this past Saturday night at New Heights? This thing between you and I is far, far from over. I know where you live. I know where you are. I know where you're going to be this Friday night. CZW has a benefit show for our champion, Masada. And I'm going to give to the champ. And I'm going to give to that benefit. And my cause is whether I'm on the card or not, if I'm in an advertised match or not, I'm going to find you, Joe. And for every fucking bone I break in your body, I'm going to donate to the champ. Because for me right now, and for the first time in my life, my mental is not what a human being should be. My mental state, quite frankly, it's not a healthy one. I don't sleep anymore. I don't eat anymore. I'm up all night thinking about a fucking kid that thinks he's a chainsaw. And quite frankly, I'm tired of it. And it's time to man up. So I'm going to find you on Friday, Joe. You haven't broken me down. You've chopped me up. But the pieces is coming back together. I'm still standing. And I'm still together in one piece. It's just barely holding on, Joe, but I'm still here. And if I don't get you this Friday at the Vogue Rec Center in Northeast Philly, August 10th, CZW's back in Voorhees at the Skate Zone at a Tangled Web. A year later, when all this between you and I started, the severed arm that you tried to break off and make a name for yourself, I will counter when I grab my utensil of choice and stab your eyes out and serve sloppy joes on a silver platter to the CZW fans. Joe, Tangled Web, August 10th. I don't care if CZW doesn't want to book me or advertise me anymore. I'm going to walk into the Skate Zone looking for a fucking fight. And at the other side of that ring, standing across from me in that squared circle better be you. Because I need to rid myself of my current demons. Because I can't take it anymore. I need to rid myself of Joe Gacy so I can forget the fucking shitfest of a year that I've had in 2013. I cannot move forward in life. And I cannot move forward in professional wrestling, and I cannot move forward in CZW without you continuing to be a thorn in my side. I'm going to stand here and hold this camera in front of my fucking face for the world to see, and whether it's the last time you ever see me in front of a camera ever again, I promise, on August the 10th, hell, I guarantee on August the 10th, if I don't get you this Friday night, but I will, but if I don't, you will hear me at Tangled Web. You will fear me at Tangled Web. And you, for the first time in this year that we've been going at it, will finally believe me, because you will be the one passed out in the pool of your own blood. You will be the one with your brains bashed in from a barbed wire chair. You will be the one that will be laid down, looking up to the sky, to a stairway to hell. But at the top of that ladder is the devil himself. And his name is Tremont.